Yo, what's up, Tube? This is Dre, and I'm sitting here in my living room, and I have a public announcement. Okay, the light may not be too good in here, but this is a transmission filter. Okay, this is out of a I don't know, 99 GMC Blazer, but transmission filter. They may different, but they all pretty much do the same thing. Okay, if you look in this hole right here, that is probably paper, but that's the filter element. Okay, a lot of people, first of all, do not pay to get your transmission flushed. Do not pay to get your transmission flushed. I say a third time, do not pay to get your transmission flushed. Why? No, I'm not saying that if they flush it, they're going to knock something loose and it's going to make your transmission go bad. That's probably not going to happen. A lot of people believe that, but it's not true. The only people that I believe that bullshit is people who think they know a little something, but they don't. Because, okay, inside of a transmission is hydraulic passages. Those passages have a lot of hydraulic pressure. And if the hydraulic pressure don't knock something loose, flushing the transmission down is not going to knock it loose. But anyway, getting back to this. Okay. Again, this is the filter. This sits at the bottom of your pan. Just say this table is a pan and it's sitting on the bottom. Okay. It's submerged in transmission fluid. Any transmission fluid that comes out of your pan has to come through that little hole, through that screen, okay, through that filter, and it comes out this little neck here, okay. Any dirt, any metal, any kind of particles are going to be stopped by that filter, okay. Anything that get past that filter is not large enough to do any kind of harm to anything past that filter, including your pump, your valves, your solenoids, or whatever. It's not large enough to do anything, okay? That filter will stop anything that's damaging to your transmission. Okay, now, again, going back, the reason I say don't get your transmission flushed. When you take your car to get it flushed, they don't change the filter. Some of the places may claim, actually, when you ask them, they'll tell you that they don't change the filter. That the new transmission stuff, you don't require the filter change. They tell you that their machine is going to flush out all the oil, all the old transmission throughout the transmission, and because of that, you don't need to change the transmission filter. And they telling you a freaking liar. They telling you a lie. Okay, this is how transmission works. We're gonna start again from the pan. The pump sits up about here, and it sucks the transmission fluid out the pan. Okay, it goes into the pump. When it leaves the pump, some of it goes through the transmission line, cooling line, and goes to the radiator to be cooled off. The rest of it, the majority of it, will go to, well, let me say, some of it goes to the torque converter, and then some goes to the valve body. It splits up in like three. It goes like three different places, or it might even be four. Some of it is just goes to the top of the transmission and drips down on all the transmission parts or whatever. But the point I'm making is, it all comes from the filter, comes through the filter, okay? So any dirt that's in the oil is going to be clean. Any damaging dirt is going to be clean. Okay, so all the transmission fluid that's in your valve body, that left around your clutches, your servos, or your valve body, or the torque converter, has been filtered, okay? No, it may not be bright pink, but it's filtered. It's already filtered. So you don't really have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about the shit. I'm going to give you an example of somebody's transmission that messed up. I had a nephew that bought a Tahoe. I don't know, it was a 99 Tahoe. When he got it, I told him to change the transmission filter. I said, drop the pan. I said, you know what, bring it over to me one Saturday, and I'll drop the pan and change the filter. And his daddy told him not to do that. The transmission run good, leave it alone, and because if you change transmission fluid, the transmission will go out. There are so many ignorant people in this freaking world that actually believes that. They believe that if their transmission is running good, to leave it alone, because if you change transmission fluid, the transmission is going to go out. I'm going to tell you, you may not believe. There are a lot of dumb ass people that actually believe that bullshit. But anyway, getting back to my nephew, he bought this Tahoe, and I didn't change transmission fluid because his dad told him not to, and he drove the truck for about a year. And all of a sudden, he calls me one day and tells me that the car won't pull. So I get over there, crank the truck up, and the truck is making this funny noise. It sounds kind of like a power steering pump when it's low in transmission fluid, or power steering fluid. That's what it sounds like. So anyway, I dropped the pan, changed the filter. This is not the filter that came out of that pan. But when I took transmission fluid and poured it down this hole, when you pour transmission fluid in this hole, it's supposed to come out of that hole without bagging up. Transmission fluid in his filter wouldn't even pass through that. Better yet, I'm going to take some water. And put through this filter. And it should not bag up. It shouldn't bag up. And it's not. It's not bagging up. Well, when I poured transmission fluid down his filter, it bagged up. Bagged completely up. See this? Because it was stopped up. This is when your filter is stopped up, transmission fluid won't go through. See how the transmission fluid is going through the filter? Because it's not stopped up. Let's do it this way. It's still coming out. Look at that. Now I admit some of it is wasting, but that's only because the water is going in kind of fast. But look at the flow. Well, now it's starting to bag up a little bit. Yeah, now it's starting to bag up a little bit. But this is an example of a good filter. Yeah, that's a pretty good filter. Well, anyway, his filter, when I did that to it bagged up. The transmission fluid will not go through it. This is the reason I say that filter has to be changed. You have to change the filter. If you have any comments about this video or you have any questions, let me know. Oh, I wanted to say this about Hondas. Hondas and a few other transmissions I don't know right now, but I do know a lot of Hondas are like this. Hondas, the way they're made, the filter is inside the transmission. Under normal maintenance, it cannot be removed. You have to take the transmission apart to remove that filter. So on Hondas, you can't change the transmission you can't change the transmission filter. A lot of people talk about changing the fluid, draining it out and putting new fluid in it. If I had a Honda, what would I do? It really doesn't matter, because that filter in that Honda is going to stop up eventually. And you can have brand new transmission fluid in it, and it's not going to help. And a lot of people believe that transmission goes bad because the fluid gets old. Transmission fluid does not get old, man. It does not get old. The transmission people want your ass to believe that bullshit, so you buy it. Transmission fluid don't get old. Really, it don't. What happens is that damn filter stops up, and you burn up your clutches. Yo, this is Dre again, and I thought I would put the filter into the pump and show you all that this is the pump in the 4L60E. This is the filter for 4L60E. I just want to show you all, this is, like I said, the filter, and when it's in the transmission fluid will be in this area. It will be sucked up through that hole, through that filter element, and it goes slam ass into the pump. This is why when your filters stop up, the transmission doesn't work well, because the pump has to get transmission fluid to pump. See, it goes directly in the pump. This is why I say Every transmission made pretty much work the same way. It sucks transmission fluid up through the filter and into the pump. It doesn't matter whether it's Ford, Chevrolet, Dodge, Mercedes, Lamborghini. Well, Lamborghinis have manual type transmissions, but hydraulically automatic transmissions, normal traditional automatic transmissions, they all work pretty much the same way. You have a filter, you have a pump, and then the fluid goes wherever the fuck it need to go. But I just wanted to show you all this to let you see how this stuff works. So when you don't change your filter, and this filter does clog up, believe that. Look at how small it is. Think of how small it is. How the fuck can it last forever? Whoa, shit. Still has water in it. But how the fuck can it last forever? Come on now. Air filters are a lot bigger than this, and they don't last forever. So how the fuck can you expect a transmission filter to last forever? I'm telling you people, if you want your transmission to last a long time, drop the pan, change the filter. Y'all have a good day. Bye.